Assalamualaikum, my name is Binti.
Hey, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Atika binti Muhammad Razi.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Naharyani binti Muhammad Yusuf.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Kamalia binti Suhaimi.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Akila binti Shamsul.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nur Shahnana Binti Ramli, and today I'll be presenting the audit objectives on computerized system. There are three audit objectives that I'll present today. The first one is improve internal control system. Second, give reasonable assurance, and the last one is to identify risk. So, the first audit objective is improve internal audit control system. Manual or traditional system has been used quite a time in the industry, but role of internal audit has increased and they should evaluate the efficiency of internal control system. Hence, audit work has the objective to change manual system to information technology system. Computerized system could help in handling complex transactions. It could also help for records to be more organized and prevent from missing any data. Audit would have to give recommendations on how the system could maintain integrity, safeguarding data or assets. Advanced technology can be the ticket for fraud to happen. Thus, it is very important for the internal auditor to help the management in firming the control system. The next objective is obtain reasonable assurance. Human error or human mistake is a common event that could happen when we use manual recordings. By using computerized system, all records could be inserted automatically and miscalculation will be less likely to happen. However, error could also take place in computerized system. Thus, audit has the responsibility to assure the users about the effectiveness and efficiency of the system. By this, it could give idea to management whether the internal control system is successfully implemented. Sometimes, there are errors like virus could attack the system and data could be missing. Hence, the management should take seriously the advices from auditors to build a system that has backup to restore the missing data. The last but not least audit objective is to identify risks that could appear from computerized system. In the previous point, I mentioned about possibility of fraud or virus that could attack the system. Because of that, auditor has a major role in ensuring the system could serve the organization efficiently. If there is any of the possibilities to happen, the auditor could give thoughts or recommendations to the management to improve the system.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Atika binti Muhammad Razi, and now I will continue to present about the audit objective for the impact of information technology on audit process. It will reduce material misstatement. What is material misstatement? A misstatement arises when there is a difference between the reported figures and what is expected to be reported in order for the financial statement to be presented fairly and show a true and fair view. By having the information technology on the audit process, the auditor can scrutinize large volumes of data and present results that can be investigated further in order to detect any material misstatement that exists in the financial statement. Next, it will be a safeguarding and maintain the data integrity. Maintenance of data integrity includes the safeguarding of the information against any unauthorized addition, deletion, modification, alteration, or fraud to the data of the company. The data integrity can be achieved by these elements. The first one is accuracy. The data should be accurate. Inaccurate data may lead to wrong decision and thereby hindering the development process or audit process. Second, confidentiality. The information should not lose its confidentiality. It should be protected from being accessed by anyone who is not authorized to do so. Completeness. The data should be complete for the auditor to make opinions. Reliability. The data should be reliable because all decisions and opinions are taken on the basis of the current database. Efficiency. The ratio of the output to the input is known as efficiency. If output is more with the same or less actual input, the system efficiency is achieved, or else system is inefficient.
Let's continue with the scope of work. The first one is the installation control. What is installation? It is a process or action taken to enable the software and hardware is ready to be used by the staff. Different systems will require different type of installations. There is a simple and straightforward installation of the system, but there is also complex installation that need professionals to do it. Installation can be categorized into physical and virtual. The physical is the installation physical equipment such as the computer, cables, and so on. The virtual is the installation of the software. Installation control must be done by the management in order to safeguard the consistent of control on software and hardware in its operation application system. Any software or hardware installed by the management must be complied with the organization procurement policy and regulations. Any unauthorized software program should not be installed or downloaded since it can cause serious security vulnerabilities into the network. Installation control can be done by evaluate the control of the system software where it can include first, the authorization of changes. Certain software can be easily downloaded by the staff, but some of the software must get approval from the certain parties before it can be installed or downloaded. The second one is installation and maintenance of the system must be completely supported by the vendors. The third one is to evaluate whether there is a protection that are being used or not in access control mechanism. And the last one is to assess any document of the system installation and support of software maintenance facilities. We also can review on some of the following conditions. First is any disposal, removing or movement of the computer component has been authorized or not by the responsible parties and whether this transaction has been recorded properly. The second one is to ensure that all equipment are being used and operated according to their specifications. The third one is hardware maintenance agreement should include preventive maintenance where the inspections, testing and adjustment of the hardware and replacement of the warranted defective parts. And the last one is to review on the record on the problems solved related to the hardware. We also can assess any agreement made with the third party. We must ensure that all staff must be aware of the agreement and any commitment contained within the agreements. Any amendment made must be approved by the board of directors or the top managements. And the last one, review the procurement procedure and ensure that all the procedures are being followed, like review the samples of the proposal obtained from the supplier and ensure supplier proposal evaluation has been carried out.
Hi, I am Nur Kamalia and I will continue the presentation with the scope of audit in computerized information system. The second area that the auditor need to cover is to assess the network security operation. A network can be very simple as small as local area network connecting few computers inside a single room or a building, or it could be a complex one that connect computer at factories and offices spread over a number of cities or even countries. A network is also connected with other networks such as the network of customers, vendors, or public network like the internet. There are 4 areas underlying the network security operation: components, monitoring, controls, and also access. The network audit must determine whether the network and the associated component are configured and tested reliably prior into its production. Second, the network's resources must be appropriately monitored. And third, Adequate control must be taken to ensure that security and recoverability of the networks are secured. And lastly is to prevent any unauthorized access to the local area of network. The components associated with a network can be grouped into three broad areas. Interception. The data that are transmitted over the network pass through some medium that consists of a carrier or other equipment, often in the physical control of other third parties. This data could be intercepted. Once intercepted, there is a risk of undesirable disclosure. In example, someone stealing the data or modify the intercepted data. Second is the availability. As the network grows rapidly, more users can access their applications over the network remotely, crossing hundreds or thousands of miles. If the network fails or becomes unavailable, there must be a serious interruption to the business and consequences damages. Third is the entry points. The network takes a computer system beyond the box into the world. The network makes the system available to users across geographical boundaries, resulting in a lot of convenience and efficiencies. In monitoring the network, there are two items that we must look: the data scope and also the performance. A data scope is a device used to monitor the network traffic. Its use, however, requires additional security controls to prevent the abuse. Network security officer may have access of data scope to reduce any misshapening. Second is the performance monitoring. Data integrity and security are enhanced when the system is running smoothly and is at peak performance. The network administrator should monitor performance of the system using available diagnostic tools. One of the duties of the network administrator is to troubleshoot any problems on the network and maintain the performance log. In terms of network control, auditor must have adequate knowledge to review the encryption technology used, network security architecture, and also the security technologies. This is to ensure a secure encryption. Second, in terms of physical access, no authorized person shall have full rights to any equipment or network to limit the interception. Third, the auditor must review the network diagram to understand the network infrastructure. They must physically verify the correctness and accuracy of the diagram. And fourth, policy, procedure, and also standard. Auditor must evaluate the process associated with the management of this network security. Configurations need to be maintained through suitability. Lastly, we must look into the network access. First is time allowed. Access to internet connection are allowed to normal working hours only. After that, it will be restricted. Second is hub and switches. Access to network hub rooms only allowed to IT department personnel only. And lastly is the server. All server and network system console must be securely under lock and key. The third scope of audit is the physical security. It can be divided into two, which is physical access and environment. Physical access prevents any unauthorized use of the computer-related equipment by ensuring that the system asset maintained under secure manner. And environment protects the computer against any natural disaster by having a recovery plan. For compromising the network, physical access to the equipment or the cabling is required. Good physical access controls at data centers and the offices. The physical security over telecommunication equipment can limit the interception through sniffing. The auditor should evaluate the physical security, including all the points where the communication links terminate and where the network wiring and distribution points are located. Below are some of the example controls that can be taken. First is secure the sensitive area by using the security lock. Having a monitoring mechanism like the door alarm or CCTV. Use a card reader control that have the magnetic stripe or the chipper key. And also use keypad devices that contain password. Lastly, use cable or lock to laptop at workstation. In computerized information system, they should also be protected from environmental damage caused by fire, water, either actual water or excess humidity, earthquakes, electrical power surges, or power shortage. The entity's IT security policy should include the consideration of environmental risk. Below are some of the measures that we can take into the environmental security. Contingency planning is a plan to resume for the business operation. Backup and recovery, we can recover the data and application software regularly. Offsite storage, we can minimize the damage of adequate protection. Fireproof floor, wall, and also ceiling, we can avoid for the loss of data. Water and smoke detector for early detection. Electric power failure, we can implement the UPS to source temporary power to keep the computer on. Disaster recovery, we can use another computer at another facility. And also lastly is the security policy, which is a decision of company for cost effectiveness. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hai, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Akila Binti Shamsul and I am going to proceed with this video presentation. Among the scope of audit work in computerized environment is logical access. In logical access, access controls are reviewed to determine if safeguards are in place. This is to prevent unauthorized acquisition of data resources. It is also to protect the financial applications and underlying data files from unauthorized access, amendment, or deletion. Logical access function in the organization should be able to preserve the integrity of information, protecting it from being amended without authority. Logical access controls takes place where physical access controls are less effective. For example, protection of data in computer systems that use communication networks, local area networks, and wide area networks should use logical access instead of physical access. To safeguard a system, unique user ID, password, and thumbprint authentications are among the tools used as a logical access control. When a user tried to log into their system but failed after multiple attempts, this shows that they do not have access to the information. The system should be set that when users fail to log in after multiple attempts, their account should be locked and the IT department should investigate on this matter to avoid unwanted incidents such as security hack or spread of private and confidential information. Not all members of organization have the right to modify or access to the information in the system, and only certain level of employees in the organization have the authority to access, modify, and grant rights. There are several access modes that can be given to users or members of organization. The first one is read-only. In this mode, users can view, copy, or print the information, but they cannot modify, delete, or add any additional information. The second one is read and write. In this mode, users can view, copy, print, modify, and also delete the information. There are also two types of users. Firstly is general users. This is users with restricted access, in which they can view, enter data, and only print. Meanwhile, the next one is the elevated or super user. This user can change another user's access right. An example of elevated or super user is the department manager. The super user should change the user access rights for terminated employees or employees on leave to control the access towards.
The last one is security control. What is security control in information technology? It is relates to any safeguard or action taken to detect, avoid, or minimize any security risk to physical property, information, computer system, or any other asset within the organizations. If organizations have weak security, it can lead to compromise any system or data either by a malicious threat or unintentional internal threats. Not comply with any security standards that are regulated by some organization or law also could lead to some penalties. So, security control is really important in computerized environment in order to ensure the establishment of appropriately defined IT management structure and also to provide some clear framework for the best establishment of security objective. So, the security control can be done by review information security management structure. This will help the auditor to identify which party are responsible for each area. Example like the security management, security administration, and data owners. The next one is to review on the security administrator's responsibility. Their responsibility must include to promote security awareness and education to the staff within the organizations. They also must check on the effectiveness of the administered access to the software that are being used. And lastly is to guide on any developments, maintenance, and implementation of the IT standards. IT standard is any rule, principle, technique, or process that are being developed to ensure consistency of the planning, development, and operation of the information technology services. And the last one is to review on the appropriateness of the level segregation of duties. The duties for the staff should be divided in order to create more efficient and strong security, such as the application developments, technical supports, computer operations, security administration, and user developments.
In conclusion, information technology has changed the business environment and impacted organizations significantly. Performance of audit in the era of information technology does not change the nature of auditing. However, it do change audit approaches as auditors need to have knowledge on the computerized environment. In conclusion, auditors have to adapt to maintain audit quality in this era of information technology. That is all from us. Thank you.